Morning, good evening, and welcome back to warthunder. This video, we're going to be doing the American 5-7 lineup. This is a very Sherman-heavy lineup since basically everything you have in early USA is based on a Sherman. So I'll just quickly go through the lineup that I use for USA 5-7, and then we'll get into some games. First lot is just the M24. What used to be here was the Hellcat, but it's now moved up to 6.0, so I just put M24. It still works, but it isn't super effective at 5.7, especially in upters. Then we have the main tank in 5.7 America, the M4A376W. It's a fantastic vehicle, a 76 armed Sherman with a short stabilizer. Nothing much, but it works really good. Then we have the M4A276W, just a slightly worse version of the A3, but is still incredibly effective nonetheless. Then we have the M4A3E2 Jumbo version, the heavy tank version of the Shermans. It works super well in a down tier. It can still work in a up tier, but most tanks in an up tier will be able to go straight through. So you will most likely see this played in a down tier. Then we have the new addition, the T1E190. It's a pretty good vehicle. You've already seen a video on this, but if you haven't, go watch that. It's a T1E1 that switched out the 76 and the stabilizer for a 90 mil, so it has no problem killing stuff. Then we have the M4A176W, and downgrade from the A3 and A2, but it's a stabilized 76, so it's still very effective. And then the tank destroyer is the M36B2. It's a good tank destroyer. It has a 90 mil, so you won't struggle to go through anything. It does have heat, but I prefer using the APHC. Then for the AA, the M42. Nothing special, just an AA. Then for my CAS options, I use the FRU-4B. It's armed with two 1000 pound bombs. It's a good fighter, and the 20 mils can top pen Panthers and other stuff as well. And then the other thing is the AM1. It's a heavier strike version. Then it can carry three 1000s instead of the FRU. So if the scale is clear, I will often take this, but if it's contested, it's gonna be the FRU-4. Now that is the lineup you have, and this is what the text will look like. So you can switch it out. I know many people maybe don't have all the crew slots, but if you want to play, what I would definitely need in the lineup is the M4A3, the M4A2 Jumbo, and I would suggest you bring some sort of AA, but if you need to drop something from this, drop the planes, drop the Chaffee, and maybe drop the M36 or the M4A1. Kind of depends on what you prefer to play. But with the lineup completed, we are going to get into our first game, which is a Nuke with the M4A3. Now, here we are for the first game for this video. It is going to start off in the M4A376W. We're on the map, second battle of El Alamein in a battle format. This means that there are one capture point for each of the teams, and it's going to be a ticket bleed that is fully dependent on the kills, basically. So the USA 5-7 lineup, as I went over in the beginning, it's a lineup that basically built on Shermans, and this is the main punching power of the 5-7 lineup. Now for this battle and for this format and for this map, I'm going to take a spot that is very good if you manage to get into it. The spot I am in now is only halfway there. You can actually climb up even further up on the hills if you manage to get there. If you're playing this map from the side that we spawned on, I would recommend everybody trying to at least make an attempt to go up there. but it's especially effective in a battle format since most of the enemies and your friendlies as well will be fighting on the fort. Now, for generally speaking, if you want to be effective in a 5-7 lineup, you will need to learn how to play the Shermans effectively. So how do you play these Shermans? You always want to try to play around the main advantage that they possess over other tanks in this battle rating. That is the short stabilizer. Now, what is the short stabilizer, you may ask? The short stabilizer is not the same thing as a normal stabilizer. The short stabilizer is a stabilizer that will kick in when you're going, I wanna say around 10 kilometers per hour, but it's a stabilizer that kicks in when you're going at a pretty slow speed. So for example, you are driving at your top speed and you see a enemy. The other tanks will have to stop and wait for the gun to stop bouncing around to fire a accurate shot. But what can you do? You can stop, and then when you reach a certain speed, the gun will automatically stabilize. You can also peek around corners more effectively with this since the gun will be staying stabilized. So this is what you need to learn to do. You need to learn how to play around the stabilizer. What are some other things that you have when you're playing a Sherman? You have the fantastic 76mm gun that every 76 Sherman possesses. This doesn't really work with a 75 though. The 76 is a very potent gun. It has good muzzle velocity. It has a fantastic round that you fire which goes through a decent amount of armor, but the main thing is the explosive filler. You have a lot of explosive filler, so you will be able to kill people through shooting their components, and you will also be one-shotting most tanks. So if you want to be effective in this lineup, you will need to learn how to play around the Jumbos and the Shermans. Now here you can see in the game that you're seeing that we are going to keep advancing up on the hill that you want to find yourself on. Now I didn't realize that the VK just spawned, and I didn't realize I was actually looking into respawn. So he knew that I was here, so we're gonna have to delay for a bit longer before going up here. With the VK now leaving, we're going to pop up, kill this whirlwind, and then we're going to move to the spot we wanted to reach. Now here you can see why this spot is so good. You can basically see the entire battlefield, and the tanks you're shooting at are going to be exposing their sights to you, so you won't have trouble penetrating them as well. Now from this position, we're just going to clean up for the rest of the game, shooting anybody that leaves the spawn and shooting anybody that harasses our teammates. I was thinking now that I only needed a few more kills in order to get enough spawn points to spawn a nuke in as well. So that is what we were aiming for now, just prioritizing to stay alive and surviving. Now we're pushing forward, we're going to kill this bulldog as well. So now just using our binoculars, looking around, looking for any targets of opportunity. And that target eventually comes in the form of a Tiger 1. Followed up shortly by a PT-76. Unfortunately, not managing to drop the nuke, but we still take first place in the team with 12 kills and 2 kill assists, earning a total of 7,973 research points and 64,134 silver lines. Now for the second game, we find ourselves on the map Sinai in the M4A3W76 once again. We're going to the spot we usually go to in these sword roving games, especially spawning on this side. We're going to start off by killing a tiger. Now this spot, as I've told you guys many times before and showed you, is a very good spot. As you can see here, we are able to shoot. Basically, we're gonna be able to contest the middle, and we're gonna control the hill on the left. We do get a bit unlucky on the Tiger as volumetric screws us over on the shot to the side of his tank, but we're going to continue firing again. With the enemies now aware of where we are, we're going to have to be a bit more careful in how we play this. So we're just going to switch to the other side. But this is a up tier, so we are going to be facing a Tiger 2s. Unfortunately, we don't manage to hit the ammunition on the Tiger 2H, but we do manage to sneak a shot through the side of his turret on the Tiger 2P. But the Tiger 2H still remains intact. But we're going to continue peeking out for the second Tiger. Now this for me was a very bad shot, but we do get flanked and killed. Now the second life doesn't go much better as we basically get killed just as we enter the map. Now after that I decide to spawn in some planes. I decided on the FRU since there were planes up, and in the FRU I do stand a better chance of killing them than if I would have picked the AM1. First engagement start as I aim for this plane. I decided to go for this plane since he is pulling up and that is a easier thing to kill. Unfortunately, I'm not a plane player, so I whiff on that one. Looking back at it when I'm editing, I'm not really sure how I missed, but we're just gonna switch and go for this one, and we whiff again. So you can see I'm not the best player when it comes to flying planes and bombing. So yeah, poor showing from me then. But if you're more comfortable with planes, you should of course use them as well in the lineup. And as you can see, horrible bomb drop from me as well. But we do manage to take the wing of this plane at least. Now I do need to get this bomb off me since it's really weird flying with a wing that's much heavier than the other one. So we are also going to kill this Leopard 4070 and we're gonna drop the second bomb. The second bomb does connect though, and we have now cleared off both of the bombs from our plane, and we are much more effective as a fighter right now as well. And as we do a strafing run, our wing gets just chopped off, and that is the plane round over. For the next time I'm taking out, it's the M4A1. This is the worst version of the 76 Shermans in game, and the big reason why that is because of the hull. This hull is the weakest hull out of all the Shermans, since it's the hull that basically does protection the worst. Basically everything can go through this. The other tanks can sometimes manage to bounce, but this will never bounce anything, and that is why it's the worst. But it's still great. The tank is still great. The tank still has the 76 and the short stabilizer, so you just have to be a bit more careful when you're playing and keep the hull armor in mind. Now here we are faced with a dilemma. We have a Panther AR3 and we have a Tiger in the middle of the map, so we are gonna get pinched here. Now I needed to make a decision, since if I would have stayed in this position I would have been annihilated. So I decided to make a run for it and push the R3 and the Panther. I needed to pick one since if I would stay in the middle I would have died, so I chose to go into try to contest this place since it is going to offer me some very good protection and safety if I manage to get a hold of this. Unfortunately we missed the R3, but we do kill the Panther instead. We also need to be aware of the M109 that's gonna be pushing us shortly. Now what you saw the Panther do was not an ideal move by him. He showed us his side. Now if you're playing a Panther, you need to be showing your front. If you're showing your side, you're gonna die very quickly since the Panther's side armor is very bad. So if you want to see me playing the Panthers, I'm gonna make a video about every Panther in the game. Please type that in the comments and I will make sure to do so. Now we have another dilemma, a R3 on our rear, which we luckily managed to take out, but now we're stuck facing a Tiger 2P. Now the Tiger 2P is the easier of the Tiger 2s to kill since his turret armor is very poor. If this would have been a Tiger 2H, we may have not been so lucky. But fortunate for us, he gets a shot in his turret and he panics and drives and shows us his side. So it's a good kill for us as well. Unfortunately for us, we are going to be facing a Tiger 1, which actually knows how to angle. So he's gonna be stuck there with me not being able to do anything. Since he has angled his tank, I won't be able to do so. Now, to all of you German mates who just unlocked your Tiger, learn how to angle. Try to aim with the corner. Try to aim the corner to the tank you're facing. If you do that correctly, no tank will be able to kill you from through the hull at least. So we're going to just leave that Tiger be, and we're going to venture into the map again. Since I can't do anything about that, we're just going to start helping our team get out of spawn. Now, this was a misplay by me. I should have aimed more carefully for the ammunition in the Tiger's turret instead of just going for center mass. With the game basically over, we're going to finish off this last Panther. Unfortunately, we don't manage to register a kill, but it would have been a kill anyways. With 12 kills, basically 13, I'm gonna count it as 13 kills to take first place in the team with 7,421 research points and 69,878 silver lines. For the last game, we are on the Frozen Pass map. I'm playing with a member from my Discord. If you want to join that and play with me and other members from the community, join the Discord link in the description. So, the Jumbo. This is a Sherman which has access to the 75mm gun, and it's basically a up-armored Sherman. Now, this will struggle greatly in a upturn, since the 75 will not be able to go through super much armor, and tanks will actually be able to go straight through your hull armor as well. Now, in a down tier, this tank is a beast. Nothing will be able to go through you if you angle and play this tank correctly, and you will be able to kill stuff if you aim for their weak points. So if you want to be successful in this, you gotta know where to aim, and you can't be over ambitious. Now here we are basically the front lines here. We are going to be facing basically a entire spawn of enemy tanks here. So I'm going to try to hide my weak point as much as possible, which that being the MG port. If you want to kill a jumbo, go for the MG port. So we're just going to be baiting on this wall. Now, I know I have teammates behind me, so I will be pushing up a bit further, and that is because of two reasons. First off, I don't want them to be comfortable just staying there. We need to put some pressure on them. And second of all, that is going to allow me to be more comfortable killing people, since the 75mm Sherman will be able to go through more armor if you're closer. Now, this Churchill is going to be occupying the enemy's attention for quite a while. I need to help him, but at the same time there are a lot of enemies just going to be surrounding me as well. So this is kind of a difficult situation we find ourselves in. I'm going to try to use this VK's hull as kind of a area that can protect me from this SU-100Y. Now you can see the 75mm struggling to penetrate any sort of armor here. Now that is something you're gonna have to get used to when you're trading firepower for armor. Now continuing using this VK's hull as some sort of cover from the enemy tanks, the SU-100Y has just stopped caring about me, and it seems like the enemies just kind of forgotten I was here. After dying in the jumbo, we bring out the M36. This is a tank destroyer armed with a 90mm gun. It does have access to heat, but I don't think I had access to it in this game, so I'm going to be sticking with APHE. I would recommend you bring some sort of heat ammunition, maybe 5 rounds, but I would prefer you maining the APHE since it just does so much more damage. As you can see, we do eliminate the SU-100Y, which was quite a lucky shot, I'm not gonna lie. With the game about to end, as the friendlies have started capturing the enemy's capture point, it's only going to be a matter of time before this game ends. So we pull up to the church and find this Dicker Max strolling about. We do catch his side and the second shot does finish him off. And with that, the third game ends on the frozen path with a pretty quick victory. Earning a total of 3,700 research points and 45,000 silver lines. Now for any closing statements and final thoughts for the American 5-7 lineup. It's a really fun lineup. I would definitely recommend everybody at least trying this. You may not like it, but I think it's a good experience, and I think it's teaches you how to play medium tanks very effectively. You have fantastic medium tanks, you have good heavy tank options. Works fantastic in a down tier, this works a bit better in an up tier. You have good tank destroyers, and since it's America, you have really good CAS, you actually have a SPA that's kind of close to this 5-7 lineup. The only thing that you're kind of lacking is a decent light tank. The M24 Chaffee still works. It still works at 5-7, but it can struggle in a up tier. So if you're playing 5-7 America, be aware you don't really have a light tank to rely on. Looking at the tech tree, what do you have access to after the 5-7? Well, after the 5-7, the 6-7 lineup comes, and that is a super fun lineup as well. Now, I would really recommend this lineup. It's really good and it's really fun to play with as well. With that, this video is coming to a close. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned as there will be more content to come about War Thunder in the near future. Until next time, take care.